Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my final sort of Q&A discussion topic video leading up to the finale for Season 2. Tonight, we've got the double episode finale of Fear the Walking Dead. Oh man, so excited for tonight. I absolutely can't wait to see the double finale tonight. You know, Fear has some great episodes, and if the season 1 finale was any indication and the mid-season finale for season 2 was any indication, I think we're going to see a great double finale tonight with lots of crazy stuff happening, and the pacing probably pick up quite a bit. So still a lot of different questions for Fear and stuff, and I wanted to do this last Q&A before the finale tonight. Of course, we'll be making Fear videos after the finale too. Maybe do, some people have suggested, Trev, what do you think? Maybe top 10 favorite characters for Fear so far, some other topics. Maybe we'll do predictions for the next season, season 3. We'll see. We'll see for sure. Still have a couple weeks out from the Walking Dead premiere, of course. But it is October now. It's October! Yeah! So, I just, oh man, I love October. It's awesome. It's probably my favorite month of the year at this point now, after seeing The Walking Dead for so many seasons. Every year I get so amped for the next season. But Fear has been great, man. I really enjoyed Fear. So, season 2 finale tonight. Will it get canceled after season 3? What do we think? This question came from Charlie Myers. He says, Trev, do you think that Fear will be canceled after season 3? And then we had Dale M., who also said something similar. He said, why do people think Fear sucks? The Walking Dead and Fear are two separate shows, so why compare them to each other? Just a bunch of very biased opinions, because one came out before the other. So I thought I'd weigh in on this a little bit. I've done videos on this before as well, too. If you don't like Fear, then simply don't watch it, that kind of deal. But a lot of my friends that I know that I talk with about Walking Dead, a lot of them do like Fear, and a lot of them are caught up on Fear. They've seen all the episodes of Fear. 3 of my friends, that I talk to about the show sometimes, just to see what they think. I wanted to ask them, what do you think about Fear so far? And they're like, oh yeah, I enjoy it. I'm caught up on it. Most of them, the consensus was pretty much the same, that The Walking Dead is king when it comes to zombie stuff, and I agree with them that it is, even versus zombie movies or other stuff that's out there. The original series is king. Fear is good. Fear is good. It's still a good series. It's fun. It's good to have during the summer when The Walking Dead's not on. And most people who have seen it up to date that I know of, that I've talked to, my friends anyway, do enjoy it, and they're going to keep on watching it. So do I think it will be canceled for Charlie? If we look at the episode-to-episode listing in terms of ratings, it's 3.5 million last week, 3.6 the week before, 3.4, 3, 3.6, 3. So around there. Earlier on the season was 6.6 million. The show started off with a bang last year, 10 million. There was a lot of buzz, there was a lot of hype for the pilot, and it did get 10 million views, 8 million for the second, 7 million, and then it kind of dropped down. And in the second season, it's dropped down a bit as well too, going from 6 to now around 3.5, and it's been consistently at 3.5 pretty much straight through, and we'll see for the finale tonight if it does even better than that. I'm expecting it maybe 4, 4.5, something like that. In terms of those numbers, I think those are fine. I don't think we'll see Fear get canceled after its 3rd season. It's been confirmed for next year for season 3. We don't know the start date. It'll probably be something similar, maybe a week, 2 weeks after The Walking Dead season 7 ends. They cranked out a lot of episodes pretty quick. They had the first season ready for us with 6 episodes, and then they did the second season with now 15 episodes, and they cranked those out pretty quickly for all of us for fans of The Walking Dead. So, do I think it's going to get canceled after season 3? No. I'm going to say I think it's going to get a season 4 and probably season 5 too, because if you've been watching my videos recently, we did the one where the head of AMC, the president, at the money meeting, I just call it the money meeting because it's Goldman Sachs, it's the investor meeting and stuff, where he said that they're planning on making The Walking Dead their flagship franchise, sort of like Star Trek. So you will have different versions of The Walking Dead over the years. You'll have the original series. When that eventually ends, you're going to have Fear. They'll probably add on something else and do another Walking Dead series after that. It looks like AMC is set on making The Walking Dead their flagship series, and I'm really happy for that. I love that. I mean, it's great to see a network realize what they have and go for it. I'd like to see HBO do the same thing with Game of Thrones. When Game of Thrones ends, I'd like to see them, maybe make that their flagship series and do something else with it rather than having nothing. So for us right now, years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, I remember when people would complain when The Walking Dead ends. People would get, there's even that commercial, they call it a show hold or whatever, that they play during Walking Dead and stuff, show hole. People would complain that not enough Walking Dead. Do you think they could do more, Trev? These are questions that came up in Q&As 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Do you think they could do more? 4 years ago. Do you think maybe they could do more than 16 episodes? And it's like, no, I think 16 episodes is probably about the max. There's some shows that do 22, but the quality on those 22 is very questionable sometimes. Shows like Gotham and Arrow and Flash and the CW shows and that. So, I think for Walking Dead, 16 episodes is probably the most we're going to see if we want it to have consistent quality, and even some weak episodes here and there can be expected at 16 episodes a season. If you're going to do versus 6, which is a lot easier to have quality all the way through, or Breaking Bad where they would do shorter seasons and stuff like that. In the season 5 they split it and they kind of made it 2 seasons and the quality was incredible. So I got an itch. This one's pretty tricky. I don't think it's going to get canceled. No, people have been asking for more Walking Dead for years. They finally give it to us, and a lot of people are crying their asses off. And I personally get annoyed by it because it's like, you know what? They're doing the best they can. Is it perfect? Is it is Robert Kirkman writing every single thing that happens in every single scene? Probably not, no. Do you have Greg Nicotero doing all the zombie makeup to make sure that everybody looks like Merle Zombie or Shane Zombie and just looks incredible? And they can zoom in on it and they get the visuals. Like, no, you don't have that. You have a different crew, you have a different team, and a different country doing the show. Is it as good as the original? Most people would say no, it's not. However, I still feel like it has enough to offer us to be a decently good show. I review lots of different shows. I don't just review Walking Dead. You guys see from the channel, right? You can't test me on this. In the last 6-7 years I've been doing this online, YouTube, I have watched so many different shows to review for the channel. Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, Under the Dome. I mean, there's so many. Helix, and I've done reviews for countless shows, right? And I've seen countless shows. The Walking Dead, or Fear the Walking Dead, is not a bad show. It doesn't suck. You're not going to sit here and tell me Fear is a 2 out of 10 or a 3 out of 10. It's not, I mean, I've reviewed tons of shows. It's not a bad show. We can't put it next to The Walking Dead or Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones and say, hey, it's not as good as Game of Thrones, when the budget for Game of Thrones Season 6 was $100 million for 10 episodes. Each episode got somewhere between 10 to 20 million, 10 million, and some maybe 5, some maybe 15 million dollars per episode for a budget. It's just, I don't want to beat it to death because I've done videos on this a number of times, but is it a perfect show? No way. No, it's not. Does it have issues with it? Yes, it does, but you have a totally different crew that's still getting their feet wet. They're still getting used to making these. They pumped out the first 2 seasons fast, and I'm excited for Season 3 of Fear. I'm excited to see it go on further, and I'm going to be reviewing, Walking Dead in the future too. So long as the YouTube channel is here and everything's cool with that, and YouTube doesn't strike me down or something, and we're cool, then I'll be reviewing after Walking Dead ends whatever series comes after that. And it's Fear or another Walking Dead 2 or something, whatever they decide to do. If there's a lull in between for a few years, fine. I'm going to be enjoying and reviewing it because it's my hobby, it's what I love to do. And personally, I like Fear, and I'm going to enjoy the finale tonight. And if people are not going to, well, that's their call. That's them. They don't have to. Certainly, it's a different type of show than The Walking Dead with an entirely different crew and a different feel. What I've said before, Walking Dead more action-oriented, based around weapons and lots of zombie killing. Fear the Walking Dead more based around family drama and things like that, but I like drama shows too, so I'm fine with that. Breaking Bad is one of my all-time favorites, and it has a ton of family drama and stuff like that going on in it too. So you guys can write your comments below. Do you think Fear sucks, and do you think it will get canceled after next year? I don't think so. Even if the show did not do that well, I think they would continue with it because it has potential, right? It's Walking Dead. They want to do this. They're in it for the long haul. And all of these things, I am 100% behind. I'm like, yes, do that, AMC. Thank you. Yes, I appreciate that. Thank you for doing something. HBO is a network where we're going to see what they're going to do with Game of Thrones. But if they leave all their fans hanging, I'm telling you, people are going to be pretty pissed that there's nothing else for them. They might wish they had a Fear Game of Thrones or something, so when there's nothing else there. DYSTV says, hey, Trev, he calls me Overtime Trev. Q&A, Overtime Trev. Who do you think in the cast? That's true. I'm at like 65 hours a week this week. But it's fun because I love it. Cast for Fear the Walking Dead will have the biggest transformation. Who do you think in the cast of Fear the Walking Dead will have the biggest transformation to complete badass? Like to hear your thoughts. Thanks. So who's going to have the biggest transformation? Well, I think Chris has had a pretty big transformation so far, right? If you take him from the beginning and where he's at right now. I mean, he was always kind of a bratty kid, but now he's transformed quite a bit into kind of a more hardcore villain and stuff, right? You got them killing people with Brandon and stuff. Travis trying to bring him back, and it's not working. And yeah, good stuff. So I think that Travis could become quite the badass as well himself, given enough time. But I think he's always going to have that strong moral compass. He's always going to have those really strong ethics, strong morals, the strong empathy for others, which you can never truly forget. But that's also what could make him to be a great leader if he cares about others. He has charisma. He brings others in, and Madison could do the same. But Madison already has she kills Celia, which is kind of nuts, and some other stuff as well there too. So we've had lots of characters transform already. And the fear, if you think about the fact that Rick is just waking up from the coma, probably like near this finale or the beginning of season 3 of Fear, the Fear group is off to a pretty good start, a pretty fast start. Then we have Swagmaster 2000 who says, "Hey Trev, where do you want Fear the Walking Dead group to go next after Mexico? Possibly back to the USA to go after Ofelia as a big season 3 first half story. By the way, season 3 of Fear the Walking Dead and onwards will be 16 episodes, making it 32 weeks a year with new zombie content in the Walking Dead universe. Your thoughts?" I'm really happy, man. I'm really, really happy. Like I said, 3-4 years ago, people complained there wasn't enough. Now there is enough. People still complaining. I don't know how to satisfy some people. They're doing the best they can. It's not going to be perfect. It's just the best that they can do. And that's their best is good enough for me. I'm happy with that. So I'm really excited that we're going to get 32 weeks of zombies a year. It's awesome. And I'm going to continue to review and enjoy Fear all the way through. Even if nobody watches, I really don't care because I'm going to watch and I enjoy it. The first part of your question was, where do you think you'd like to see them go, or where do you think they would go? I'd always like to see a Walking Dead set in London. I think that would be really, really cool. I don't think the Fear the Walking Dead group will ever go there, but maybe for one of the future Walking Dead series, AMC can do something in the UK and do series there. That would be huge in the UK. I'm sure all of our friends in the UK, lots of you guys I know are from the UK or in and around there, in Europe and everything, all across the globe. But there's a lot of viewers, a lot of zombie fans are in the UK. And I think it'd be great for AMC to do, in the future maybe, a London-based zombie apocalypse story. I think that would be really cool, be a totally different environment, and I personally would love to see it. It may not do as well in America, but I think for the UK, it could be a huge hit in the UK. And I think eventually AMC should consider doing that. Maybe I'll write them a letter or something. For Fear the Walking Dead, where do you think they'll go after Mexico? I think eventually they're going to want to go back to the U.S. because I have heard people complaining about this too. And this is something that, because me growing up reading manga and watching anime, I am totally used to, which is subtitles. A lot of people are not into subtitles. If they see subtitles, it's like too much work for them, or they're like, I'm not into this. I don't want to read what they're saying. It's like, and that's it. They're like, I'm done with it. I just don't want to read what they're saying. I'm not going to give this series Naruto or Dragon Ball or any of these others. I'm not going to give them a chance because I don't want to read subtitles. Whereas with me, I prefer the subtitled version of a lot of series. But I think eventually they'll probably go back to the U.S. because, but that said though, if they film it at different times from The Walking Dead, like if they film during the winter, then it's a really smart move to do it in Mexico because of course in Mexico they can film during that season and it's not too bad. You don't have to deal with snow and all that stuff like they do have to deal with in the U.S., which they could still do. I mean, there's some series that you do have, in the wintertime. I'm thinking Fargo was a series that was filmed in Minnesota, I think, or in Canada. And it was during the winter. It was set in Minnesota, I think, in snow everywhere and everything. So, but for zombies, it'd be tough to do zombies in the winter. It'd still be cool to see. I hope eventually they'll go back to the U.S. because I think in terms of the show, it's probably good. Because again, like I said, lazy people and subtitles, a lot of people hate. Well, I'm not calling you guys lazy if you don't like to read subtitles. I mean, ideally, it's dubbed, but personally, I don't think it's that big of a deal if we have to read a few subtitles. And last one for this one will be from Auntie Twister 08, and she says, "Hey Trev, have a Q&A question for Fear. Do you think we will see Alex again? And if so, could she and that group have taken the Abigail? And I think that's a great question there. Someone took the Abigail, and it could be them, yeah. And how will we see them again? You know what would be a cool scene for maybe a season 3 for Fear? Is if they try to get back to the U.S. and they have to cross like some kind of bridge or something, and there's like maybe something similar to the Walking Dead season 2 premiere, What Lies Ahead, and there's like zombies on the bridge or something they have to cross. That could be a really cool scene, but I bet it'd be expensive in terms of budget to do. So I'd still like to see them do something like that where they try to cross back into the U.S. and it's all chaos and there's zombies everywhere and stuff. That could be really, really cool. I think that would be nice for an episode. That'd be something Frank Darabont would want to do. I'm just thinking of him because videos this week on Frank Darabont and the beginning of Walking Dead. So that'd be cool. But I do think you're right. I think we'll see her again for sure. And I do think that her group is probably the group that took the Abigail. At least they knew where it was. Either them or... yeah, the pirates, so to speak. Yeah, that group would be one that would be looking and would want to take it, I would think, for sure. So, yeah, and that'll be it for today's Q&A, guys. I'll see you guys back tonight for the finale for Fear. I am stoked for it. I can't wait for the double finale. I hope you guys check it out, and I hope you'll come back and check out the review afterwards and predictions for the next season, for Season 3. And, yeah, man, that's going to be it. We'll wrap up Season 2 for Fear tonight. It was a great season. I enjoyed it a lot. Enjoyed all the Abigail stuff. Enjoyed the second half. It's been good stuff. So let me know what you guys think about all these different questions. Are you one that thinks Fear sucks? That's okay too if you do. Write your comments below. Definitely controversial in the Walking Dead community whether or not you like Fear and if you think it sucks or not. And if you like this video, please thumb it up. Appreciate it, guys. Gamers, Alt-Tab, thumb it up. Appreciate it. Love you guys. You guys are awesome. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, you can subscribe to the bottom left. That's it for this video. I'll see you guys tonight. It's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See ya.